Okay, pop quiz. There have been a lot of sports played at Oracle Park, not just baseball. But can you name the two teams that have called Oracle Park home for an entire season that were not baseball teams? It's August 23rd, 2025, and I'm here at Oracle Park as history is being made. But it's not baseball being played behind me. Today, Oracle Park is hosting the largest crowd for a National Women's Soccer League team game in history. But not only that, this game has the highest attendance for any women's pro sports league game in United States history. So this is just another bit of history for Oracle Park, but there's been a lot of sports played here other than baseball and football.
Welcome to 25 years of history and trivia at Oracle Park. So the thing about baseball stadiums is that they are uniquely shaped, and not just in that way that every baseball park has different dimensions, but baseball's sports fields are just shaped differently than most American pro sports and their rectangular-ish fields of play. But that fact has not stopped Giants ownership from trying to get Oracle Park to be the home of other teams, and they started right away with football. The American version. In 2001, a wild attempt to create a spring football league happened, and it just happened to be the first offseason for the Giants at Pacific Bell Park. So the team's ownership reached out and convinced the XFL to have its Bay Area team that was set to play at Spartan Stadium in San Jose to move and play in San Francisco. The XFL's San Francisco Demons were ultimately the league's biggest success. While the Demons lost the XFL's $1 million game, their attempt at a fun championship game name, the Demons easily led the 8-team XFL in attendance, with just over 35,000 fans a game, while the next best in New York drew just 28,300 a game. The fiery fan base even gave Pacific Bell Park the nickname of the Hellhole, and it was easily the most visually impressive backdrop for any XFL games. However, that XFL folded after just one season, but it was far from the only football played at the stadium. In fact, in 2009, another league, the UFL, tried to replicate the Demons' success. The underfunded UFL was bad. In its first season, it only had 4 teams, and all the team uniforms were the same design, just with different colors and helmets. One of the 4 teams was the California Redwoods, and it was in San Francisco after the Demons' success. But the response this time was awful. The team's first home game had an announced attendance of 6,341 fans, a number so bad that the team tried moving to San Jose to Spartan Stadium, where they only got 4,312 fans, which was the lowest attendance at any game that season for the UFL. The Redwoods came back to then AT&T Park for one more game. The UFL somehow continued through 2012, but mercifully, the team moved to Sacramento and became the Mountain Lions. Ironically, eventually ending up in every homeless team's temporary home, Raley Field, which we now know as Sutter Health Field, home of the Athletics. More successfully, the Giants' home park was the home of college football's East-West Shrine Game for 5 seasons, and it hosted a bowl game from 2002 through 2013, a bowl game that went through many names and sponsors, starting as the San Francisco Bowl and ending as the Redbox Bowl. It has also hosted several high school football games for San Francisco teams. But in 2011, AT&T Park gained a new home team, the California Golden Bears, who played a single season there as Memorial Stadium in Berkeley underwent its renovations.
And then there's the Oakland Raiders. In 2019, they were in negotiations to play a season at Oracle Park while they prepared for their move to Las Vegas. But the San Francisco 49ers stepped in and exercised their territorial rights. And seriously, how many times can you get deja vu in one sentence?
But Oracle Park also played home to a major event in American football's sister sport, rugby. In 2018, the stadium hosted the Rugby World Cup Sevens, a generally quadrennial event of various countries' national teams competing for dominance. The competition saw both the men's and women's tournaments, which were swept by the New Zealand teams on both sides. In addition, the stadium has hosted several sporting-related events. While not actually full-on sports, but were new ways to enjoy the stadium. Golf has been integrated into the ballpark a few times, transforming the park into a type of 9-hole golf course of sorts, and golf has been good luck for the team. After all, there was that one game in 2012 where Matt Cain practiced swinging at golf balls before the start of it, and then pitched a memorable game that night.
Now, in addition to all the sports games that have been played here, there's also been a few other sporting events. Motocross has been a popular off-season thing at Oracle Park, but one of the craziest exhibitions happened right up at that scoreboard, a ski jump.
That's right. In 2007, a gigantic ski jump was built for the ICER Air event. This was the same group that memorably turned Fillmore Street into a ski jump back in 2005. The ICER Air event definitely gave a few fun memories, but the extreme sports event didn't last more than a couple of years, moving around to different locations before disappearing.
And there's, one other sport to talk about.
Oracle Park has hosted some of the biggest names in football, or soccer to us Americans. The first soccer game hosted at the park was in February of 2006, when the U.S. national team faced off against Japan in a friendly, but soon the stadium began hosting some of the biggest teams from outside the U.S. In 2011, the soon-to-be Premier League winners, Manchester City, played against Club America from Liga MX. In the years since that game, they've hosted Premier League's Everton, Italian club Juventus, and Spain's Real Madrid, as well as a couple of other games between teams of La Liga of Spain. In 2012, they also hosted their only game of the San Jose Earthquakes, when they faced off in a grudge match game against the Houston Dynamo. If you know Earthquakes history, you know why this was a Browns-Ravens match. And here in 2025, Bay FC came to play at Oracle Park. As I said in the intro, this game not only set the record for the tickets sold to a National Women's Soccer League game, but also set the record for any women's pro sports event in United States history. The number of tickets sold for Saturday's game was 40,061, just underneath the level of the number of tickets sold for the 2022 match between Real Madrid and Club America, which was 40,630. Notably, the Bay Area's women's soccer team has had a presence at all of the top 3 pro women's sporting events records. In 2001, the old record holder was the WUSA's inaugural match with the Bay Area Cyber Rays facing the Washington Freedom at RFK Stadium with 34,148 fans in attendance. That was broken last year as Bay FC faced the Chicago Red Stars at Wrigley Field, hosting 35,038 fans. And now Oracle Park has broken both those records. It should be noted that it took some agreements for both that Wrigley Field game and this one at Oracle Park to happen. The league's collective bargaining agreement specifically forbids soccer games at non-soccer stadiums. This comes from the league's early years when they played in a lot of minor league baseball stadiums, and the infield grass and sod did not work out well for them back then. So that became a negotiated point in their contracts. The teams worked very closely with the Oracle Park groundskeepers to put down sod that would not interfere with the game at all. And I can speak from being there that there were no incidents with the sod going bad at this stadium. Levi Stadium may want to learn a thing or two from this. I noted that the Bay FC game set the U.S. women's pro sports attendance record, but I will emphasize that pro is doing some heavy lifting there. In 1999, the Women's World Cup final, technically amateurs, was witnessed by 90,185 fans in Pasadena. However, the highest attended women's sporting event in the world was held in 2023 in Lincoln, Nebraska. That was where 92,300 fans packed into Cornhusker Football Stadium to watch the very popular women's volleyball team of Nebraska defeat Omaha in a regular season matchup.
So that's some of the other sports that have been played here at Oracle Park. Have you ever checked them out? Judging by the crowd here, you may be checking them out right now. But are there any other sports you would like to see make an appearance at Oracle Park? Personally, I would love to see the NHL's Winter Classic here. Getting a chance to see the San Jose Sharks play in front of some, well, maybe shark-infested waters would actually be pretty incredible. But what about you? The comment section is open. Please let me know. I'll talk to you next week. Stay safe.